Welcome to Nicole's Creative Adventures. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, quilting, and sewing. I just want to say hello to anyone new that's watching my podcast. Welcome. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you find creative inspiration. You get a few times you can laugh at me, and you just feel like you're watching a friend or hanging out with some other creative peeps. For those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. I totally appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I don't have a lot of creative, um, well, I have a lot of creative friends, but when it comes to creativity, I don't have a lot of them that like quilt or knit or sew and sort. Or spin for that matter. So I just really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me and communicating through um, my blog or on this YouTube podcast, or as well as in Ravelry or Instagram. So I just really appreciate you guys, and you know, stay vocal, and we'll be in touch, right? So, anyways, I'm keeping it real today, other than like some lip gloss. I'm not wearing any makeup. This morning, it's Saturday. Today is the 23rd of April. And this morning, I had a massage. My neck, if you had watched my last podcast, I'd explained that I'd had some wrist issues and I think I'm getting old. This is part of turning another age older, I think was my birthday gift. Um, but yeah, range of motion. Like I can't turn my head left or right like as far as I should. I used to be a massage therapist a long time ago, so like I know what I need to do, and I've been doing those things, and I just needed a little external help because I obviously don't have arms that reach all the way around my back and that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I had a massage this morning, so I had cradle face, and my bangs are messed up. Cradle face because when you're in a massage table and you're face down, you're in that little face cradle, and you get this lovely little like horseshoe look. And anyways, and then since then, I've been home and I'm kind of cleaning my house a little bit. We're gonna have family and friends over tomorrow to celebrate my birthday and my son Eric's birthday. Eric turned 24 a few weeks ago, and I turned 37 um, last Friday, the tax day, April 15th, in the U.S. And so we're just finally getting all the family together, and we're gonna have a barbecue, and we're gonna chill out, play horseshoes, and that kind of stuff, and have fun. So did some cleaning of that. My husband is doing some yard work and is preparing everything for that. So if you hear random power tools or things that require gasoline to generate power, it would be my husband. And you also might hear my Roomba, which is one of my favorite friends, vacuuming my front room right now. I just have to say, if you've ever wondered, and I don't sell Roomba, or I don't work for that company or anything, but or I think it's iRobot or whatever they're called. I love my Roomba. This is my second Roomba. I've had one. The first one I got probably like 9 years ago, and that one lasted about 4 or 5 years. It actually was still working, but I went from like just one cat to two cats and a dog, and so I upgraded to the pet series. It's the 500 series, whatever. But I'll tell you what, most of my house is hardwood floors. And then I have lots of area rugs and hardwood floors or tile, that kind of stuff. And so the Roomba works excellent on hardwood, on tile, and even on a rug. It works great. I probably might not even have to, if I just let that thing run throughout my house, I probably don't need a vacuum tomorrow. And even if I do, it'll be just like a little spot cleaning. But yeah, I hardly ever use my regular vacuum. And I have a really nice one. I have a Dyson. So, anyways, that was just a tangent. But us knitters are creative people. We like to monopolize our time. And if I can save time and put it towards crafting and let something else do the vacuuming, I'm all for it. So, anyways, enough said. Um, yeah, so I had a birthday recently. I'm older. Every day we're aging. It's just depressing. But nonetheless, it was a good one. It was pleasant. It wasn't like when I turned 30 where I had a really hard time. Like 37, I'm like, whatever. And so I got some really cool gifts from people that I was not expecting to get anything from. Like today I'm drinking my coffee out of a mug from my friend Susan, who I work with. And it's actually really, really pretty. It's kind of got some gradient in the turquoise, and then it's got these, my favorite color is purple, and it's got some purple flowers in it. It's heavy duty. Um, Yokohama Studio, hand painted. Looks like it was made in Japan. I don't think she went to Japan to get it. Nonetheless, it's a nice mug. She was debating between this and a Star Wars one. And either way, I would have been very happy. But it was actually really funny that she was debating between a floral print and a Star Wars mug. So that's funny. She also got me something really cool that I don't even have. That's totally in and very creative and crafty, which is those coloring books that are out now, adult coloring books. And this one is called Amazing Grace. And it's basically the lyrics for the song Amazing Grace, the hymn. And yeah, so she got me that. And there's just some really cute, really, really cute, coloring. So this, and I already started like coloring a little bit, very little, but yeah, like I was just like, hey, I'm just gonna color that guy. She also got me some colored pencils, and so I'd already found like just coloring one flower very therapeutic. So maybe I should bring this to work. Have this so that I can just kind of focus on something that's not as stressful or whatever, doesn't take as much brain power. But so Susan was awesome. I did not expect that. I also got some like cute cards. I think the Knitter and Me, people are starting to see more public. Obviously, if they watch my podcast, it's pretty public. But a lot of people don't. I don't like hang out and knit with people because they don't knit, But anyways, I have a friend who I work with named Cindy, and I bought her a skein of yarn and some needles because she knit when she was a child. I think when she was younger, and she hasn't since. So I said, hey, you should start up again. And I gave her kind of a knitting DVD that helped her kind of get the basics, knit and purl. And so she made me this card, handmade. She's so cute. Happy birthday. And then look at, it's Black Jack. It's Jack Black, my cat. Super cute. And then my mother-in-law, also in the theme, got me this card. Yarn and a kitty. So I thought that was thoughtful, right? I'm sorry, my camera went all wiggy. I thought that was thoughtful, Instead of just like a happy birthday with a balloon or something, it's like totally catered to something that's attractive to you. So I truly appreciate that. Let's see. Boop-a-doo. Cal. So I have started, as of my birthday date, April 15th, we started a 2-month running Cal called Knit Beyond Expected. If I could just speak English. Knit Beyond Expected Cal. It's from April 15th to June 15th. And this is like anybody can join kind of Cal right here. And you can double dip. You don't have to stay exclusive to mine and along. So basically, a lot of the podcasters out there and the knitting world or spinning world, we're all very into like, what are your plans for 2016 creativity wise? Like what new techniques are you going to try? What new type of item are you going to try to knit? Or what type of new fiber are you going to spin? Are you going to knit with your hand spun or this or that or whatever? So we kind of brainstormed, and a lot of us would respond to those podcasts and actually put like, I want to knit 12 pairs of socks. I want to knit my first sweater. I want to knit this and that. And since then, we're like 4 months in, right? Yeah. 4 months in. What did you not put on that list that you're being drawn to start, right? So for me, I would have never, in January, thought of knitting a toy. Nope, it's not on my list, not even on my radar. I didn't even think about it, and then go, nah. And then everybody started getting these bunnies for Easter. And then I saw, and I love Susan B. Anderson, and I thought her toys were cute, but I was like, it's not my style. And then all of a sudden, I just realized that everybody I know is pretty much Prego. And there's no way I can quilt everybody a quilt for their babies. There's no way I can knit like like blankets or like garments for every single person. So I'm thinking, what can I learn that is useful, that is cute, and that is handmade? And so I can have variety, especially when it comes to boys. Like, it's so much easier to quilt a really beautiful quilt for a little girl. Boys, like they don't need, they're like, keep away from the floral print, please. And if you're just come from the world of quilting, or you have shop for fabric for boys, it's difficult to find quilting fabric, unless you buy maybe like a whole theme where it goes together for boys. It's really catered towards more feminine colors and designs and patterns. And so I always struggle when I have to do a baby quilt, because it's like, what am I going to use? Do I always have to use red and blue? Do I have to use turquoise and green? You know what I mean? Oh, paisley okay or not? Flora, there's some flowers in that. Do I want to put that on there? I don't want the dad to be like, what's up with that? So anyways, I thought, wow, toy knitting. Like, any child would love a toy knitting toy, especially if you do animals. Like, that's total unisex. So, yes. So that's something I never planned on, and I want to make. So for this knit along, I'm going to knit my first toy, and it's going to be a design by Susan B. Anderson. And it's part of her, I think her book, Wee Ones, or her Craftsy class for sure is called Wee Ones. And I'm going to do the elephant. Elephant. And so I haven't started it, but I did cake it. I didn't need to cake up this yarn, but I put it in here. This is my animal baggie that I made a while back, and I have it has a twin that I gave to my sister-in-law for Christmas. So I had to buy some, when I was out and about, I'm like, oh, there's the yarn shop nearby, because I needed worsted weight, and I didn't have any worsted weight that I thought was good for an elephant. And even if I went with like a multicolor or a variegated, didn't have anything. So I didn't get a chance to see if I had the needles I needed for this project. So I just went ahead and bought, we can always use more needles, right? So I bought my first pair of Knitter's Pride marbles, which is like the acrylic. I want something really lightweight because you're not going to have a large amount of stitches on each needle. So US 6 is what I needed for this pattern. And so these are the marbles. I haven't tried these guys before. What's really funny is I actually do have double pointed needles in 6, but I'm going to take these babies because the ones that I have are a little heavier. So, and I just said take these babies. So my husband and I are going to go out of town for a little while. We're going to take a little vacation. We're going to go up to a friend's cabin. They're graciously share their cabin with family and friends. And so we're really looking forward to getting out of Dodge and getting some quiet time together. So I've got some projects planned because there's no Wi-Fi and there's no cable at this cabin. It's just about being and not being distracted too much. So I guess I will distract myself with knitting. But there's those. And then the yarn I bought, I wanted to go with like a baby, like a soft gray. It's an elephant, and I didn't want to go crazy. I feel like with an elephant, a little too much, especially with his ears and his awesome trunk. I didn't want to go too crazy with the yarn, especially for my first toy. So I got some Cascade yarn, 220 superwash. Pretty basic here. 100% superwash wool. I wanted it superwash because if it's going to get a lot of love and drool, it should be able to be washed and hand dried, or air dried. 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 220 yards, which should be plenty. And yeah, so this is that yarn. Yeah, it's a nice. It's not like a total gray. It's a neutral gray. There's brown in this gray, which I thought would be pretty cool. So that's going to be for my little elephant, which I plan on starting at the cabin. And my notes went night-night. So I'd encourage you guys to join the knit along. I still haven't even went in there and put what I was going to do. I need to do that. But there will be prizes. Anyways, join the Cal. There's going to be a link in my show notes to the group and the thread where you can participate. I'd love to know what you would like to start, what you haven't thought about doing until recently and you want to give it a stab. Moving on. Sorry if I'm long-winded today. Finished objects. Well, finished object. Uno. Socks. More socks. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen these babies already. I like my socks and I cannot lie. So, these babies are just my vanilla sock recipe. I'm pretty short, so you'll notice that the cuffs are never really, really long for me. I tell you, even if I have long socks, like if they were up here, I would just kind of scrunch them down. I have like a comfortable spot on my lower calf where I like them. But anyways, these are Sunrise Fiber Co. yarn and they're Frolic Sport Weight. So this was just, it's not a heavy sport. Sport weight in the Spring Equinox colorway. This was, I believe, this is what I have left, which is not as much as I normally do when I do my socks. I usually have enough where I could probably do another, at least a pair of shorty socks for sure. But that's because this was thicker. Spring, I think this was my March colorway for the Surprise Me Sock Yarn Club. Right? Sock yarn? I think Surprise Me Yarn Club, where they surprised the base. So for this one, it was a sport base. So I like them. I like the striping. I like the colors. There's this awesome brown and teal, and then there's these pinks and purples, both lavender and like a hyacinth flowering purple, pink. They're very April to me. So these are my first April socks. I am planning on having 2 pairs of socks done this month because I'm going up to a cabin. And in a cabin, there's no TV and there's more things to do and it's just beautiful and you want to be outside and you want to knit. So I cast it on. Oh, un momento, por favor. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I just realized that the socks, what did I say? The socks that I casted on, were by the TV where I've been knitting them. So, that was my only finished object. Now moving on, works in progress. Knitting. So in my purple floral bag that I made, I put these socks. This is my first time knitting the how do you say this? Hermione's Everyday Socks. And the yarn I'm using is Wool and Vine Yarns Blitz Base in the Fairy Hair colorway. And so Jilly, if you're watching, I know how much you love this colorway, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am now in love with this colorway too. In fact, I wish I had more skeins of this. Not because I need them for the socks, but because it's gorgeous. And so here is it caked up. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And yeah, so when I saw Jilly like talk about how it's like one of her coveted yarns and she's like loves it, and I thought, oh, she's so silly. She's so funny. And then now I'm like, did the same thing. In fact, every time I'm knitting, I'm like, hey, honey, look at my socks. Look at my yarn. Isn't it beautiful? He's like, yeah, that's very nice. Honey, look. So here's the tag, Wool and Vine Yarns, Fairy Hair Blitzed. Love it. Fiber is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. Love me, and this looks like gold stellina, which is perfect. 438 yards, 100 grams. So here they are. These are my first ones. Let me stick in my ends. But here she is. And you know, with this yarn, texture-wise, doesn't stand out too much. Let me see if I can get my, there we go. But again, when it's stretched out a little bit, let's see if I can get this to look like my fat calf. Maybe not. Just little bumps, and I think it's pretty. I mean, I could have done this. Come on. Let me cover my face. I could have done this. Okay, that's not working. Just vanilla sock, and it'd be gorgeous. But I wanted to kind of do something different. And I kind of like the texture, and I think they're going to be super comfy. I know this yarn is soft. It's one of my favorite socks I've ever knitted to wear that's so comfy is the Blitz Base. And I think the color I had before was everybody's new Pandora. So anyways, so these guys, this is all I got so far. And today's the 23rd. The goal is to have these babies done by the time I come back from the cabin, which would be on the 30th or 31st, or 1st of May. No, sorry. 30th of April is Saturday. 1st is Sunday, May 1st. So, yeah, if I get them done by Saturday, then it's official. So we'll see. I know, Jack, but it's too early to eat, okay? I don't know if you can hear Jack in the background. No? No. Okay, moving on. The other project that I showed last time, and I haven't made any progress on this week because I was saving it for the cabin, was my Merlot shawl by Eloise Dupont, and it's paper pattern, and I'm using 2 kinds of yarn. Ooh, getting things a little tangled here. Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock in Auburn, which is this pretty brown. It is a little tonal. I love that this other color pulls that out. And then Succulent Fiber Fingering Weight in Blossom is the secondary fiber. And I'm on to the applied, which I didn't realize. I've never done applied edge, so we're going to do it. It doesn't look too difficult. Applied edging border for the very bottom of it. Oh, wait, this is the bottom, because this is a crescent shawl, which I've never knit before. So that's the other thing I would like to work on. I'm not going to go into this in detail, but yarn. Not really showing up too well. And this is in my pastel-y, it's getting kind of full because this shawl is growing, bag that I made. This is one of my girly bags. So that is 2 objects that are casted on and I'm knitting. The socks and the shawl. But I'm going to a cabin and I'm going to put 2 more projects than I need with me, because I could probably finish the socks and the shawl. But what if I have more time? What if I decide I don't really want to work on my socks? Or what if the shawl makes me angry and it's not restful and I'm supposed to be going to the cabin to rest? What would I knit then, right? Oh, the elephant. But I don't really think the elephant will take me too long. So there's my elephant. What would I do? What would I do? So I just realized I prepared 2 other projects. Like, I'm gonna have that kind of time. Okay. So let's say I finish those socks early. Well, you know me, I always want to have a pair of socks on the needle, always. So in my new awesome funky bag, which I love the colors. I caked up my very first well, very first I caked up Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn in the Rift colorway. I saw that Jilly from, sorry, my cat's talking to me again. Jilly from the Knitting Broomstick podcast we both were part of the same club, it looks like. And so we probably got both of the same skeins. We got one of this color, and then we got another one. Can't remember the name of the yarn, but she caked that one up. So I caked up the other one, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of cool. To me, it's very superhero-ish. I mean, is it just me, or it seems very superhero-like? Because there's like black and dark blue and green and red and orange and white and pink. Well, there's like almost every color is in this sucker. I don't see any purple, which is okay. But yeah, it totally looks like a superhero style thing. So I'm thinking, hey, superhero socks. And part of me is thinking, maybe I should save this to do some sort of like hat or something. I don't know. So just in case, Hedgehog Fibers socks. And then the other one, I don't have the pattern written down, but hold on one second. Okay, so in the theme of baby knitting, because there's lots of babies coming, I wanted to attempt to knit. The pattern is called A Simple Baby Pullover. I believe it was free on Ravelry, and it's by Erica Kempt Broden maybe. And so the yarn I'm going to use is Zara Plus Color. It's made in Italy. It's Filatura di Corosa. Maybe they have Spanish accent, but it's Italian yarn. But it's this really pretty blue. This is obviously for a boy. I mean, a girl would dig it too, but. And I have a few skeins, but I think I only need 2. So I'm going to just knit. I'm not going to knit a newborn size. The pattern has quite a few variety of sizes so that you can knit to what you need, but I'm really looking forward to, knitting a little baby boy sweater. Whether I start at this trip or not, it's ready to go. I have my needles in there. I have 3 skeins of yarn. It's in my blue and chartreuse bag. Yeah, so I got lots of projects. I also brought, I would have loved to brought my spinning wheel. There's something just super amazing about being on a deck where there's deer and trees and you're just spinning fiber. Yeah, well, I don't think we're gonna have room for it in the car with all the stuff, and my husband's bringing his guitar stuff. So I decided I don't need to bring everything I have, and that I'll just bring knitting, and then also will bring some hand quilting if I just am sick of knitting. And so this is my hand knitting project box. It's not very glamorous, but it does the job. And so I have a couple projects in here. So just depending on how I'm feeling. I've been hand knitting these cute triangle squares together, all from scratch, no sewing machine. So this is just a complete hand sewing thing, just cute little triangles. And I'm obviously going to do them in lines and then sew them together. I think the goal is that this would be a baby quilt. I don't have a lot of these triangles. I have quite a bit, but just not as many as I would like. So I'll probably either put those in the center and then border it or something, or I'll figure something out. I do have these triangles were actually cut out by my what are you called? See, my neck doesn't move. My AccuQuilt Go. And so I have a die that cuts these awesome triangles. And then you'll see it even has some these little earmarks that help you align. They're not on every line, but anyways. So I love those. That's one project. And then the other project is my English paper piecing. Oops. Where the idea, and actually I don't have all of the rest of my, I'm doing, I have just 2 colors. This is a 2-color quilt. This will take me forever to do, but I actually have probably this much done in, yeah, I didn't bring these down, but they're little flowers. It's going to be, you know, it's going to go all the way around. For those of you that have done English paper piecing, you totally know what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't, there's a really good class on Craftsy, if you're interested. And so, you know, in this little box, I've got my thread, I've got my finger condoms. That's what they're called. Because when you're working with hand, if you're not into hand knit sewing or anything like that, these little condoms go in your finger and they help you grip the needle. Because when you're working with small work, and if you tend to be like me, where my fingers kind of just, well, one, I don't like having dry hands, so I'll put lotion on. Well, then I don't have the grip that I need. So this allows me to grip the needle. I don't use that when I do hand quilting, like literally like the quilting portion, not necessarily the sewing and piecing portion, but when I do my hand quilting, I'll use, I won't use that, I'll just use my thimble. Oh, I just realized. Hello. Just realized that I'm missing my thimble. I need to put it in my, so this is my thimble. It's gold. This is what I use for hand quilting. Now, I'm not bringing any hand quilting with me this weekend, but this sucker and I can just go to town. So I bought this at my local quilt shop. It's gold plated. That didn't matter. It was either, that's pretty much all they had. But it's heavy duty. Like, I could hurt myself if I hit it pretty hard. And yeah. So when I've got my needles in here, I tend to use these 2 types of needles. I have my applique longs, Bon France. These are really good. My longs I tend to use for when I'm doing when I use my silk thread. So this is a silk. This is kimono silk thread. It's by Superior Threads. Yeah. Thank you, camera, for being so excellent. Then the needles that I like to use for my English paper piecing, or at least sticking through the paper, are a milliner's needle, and this is a size 11. These babies, looks like I'm getting low on these suckers. Richard Hemming and Sons large eye needles. And then the quilting needles I like. So this would be, again, when you're hand quilting and you're using, you need to use smaller needles. You need sturdy needles. And so I like Roxanne's needles. I actually own her book, and I've mentioned this before when I talked about hand quilting. Reading, most of the times reading a book won't help me develop my skills. I'm more of a visual learner or audio, but that book was genius. And I read almost that whole book. It's a pretty decent sized hand quilting book. It talks a lot about her story and her journey. But her needles, she passed away, obviously. Her daughter continued her legacy. So I kind of prefer the size 9s. Yeah, that's just, did you get any? Yeah, look at that. I also have size 11s, but I don't use them very often. They are itty bitty. So let me show a difference. Who cares what the thing says? But the 9s are the longer ones, and the 11s are the shorter ones. Look how much different they are in size. Those are baby small. So I bought the 11s because I know that that's what Roxanne used a lot of. I think these little fat fingers, I've done them, I've used them, but I can't load as many stitches on. So I prefer the 9s. So those are my hand quilting needles. I think that's all I'll show you. So I'm going to bring that. So if I get kind of knitting crazy and need a change of pace, I have some other things to do besides eat, drink, and be merry. Let's see, anything? Oh, stash advancements. Let's talk about that, okay? Oh, spinning. I'm still working on the same. In fact, I'm kind of hoping that my husband will let me fool around a little bit this afternoon. We did a lot of work today. And spin. So I want to spin more of this, and then I want to apply it. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying the silk getting all over me. But hey, can't complain. Don't complain about that. Stash advancement. Sweet Georgia Sock Yarn Club. Oh, okay. So this is the April. These are April clubs. So sorry, you should have gotten mine. I got mine like weeks ago. So this is the Sweet Georgia Sock Yarn Club. This is the bulletproof sock, and the color is passion fruit colorway. Isn't that beautiful? And here's the tag. So 50% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 15% kid mohair, 15% silk. So this is sock yarn. Okay, camera, I'm right here. Look at my eyes. Okay. So when I see this color, and then I saw the name, and I went, that is totally the color. So it's not necessarily passion fruit, but in Hawaii, they have this awesome dessert made out, it's like a guava cake with like this guava frost, like gelatin, I don't even know what it is. It's like guava nectar frosting. It's not super sweet, guava flavored cake. It's got like a cream filling. So good, and I haven't had it since I've been in Hawaii, and that's been way too long. So for my family that are in Hawaii, Kim took Amanda, Kayla, and Deanna have to have that cake on my behalf because that stuff is good, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it reminds me of this. So I'm looking forward to that. The next club that I have that came in is Sunrise Fiber Co. I'm really digging this club. So I had never purchased any of her yarn, but I had heard people saying, oh, I like their stuff. And then I saw on Etsy, and I had like a gift certificate for Christmas. So I signed up for her 3-month sock club. And so I think it was February, March, April. No, March, April, May. So March was this yarn that I use for my socks. This is April, so if you haven't got this, look away. It's the Mount Hood Sunrise colorway, and it's a surprise sock, which is 100% superwash merino, 438 yards. And it is super cute. Super, 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 super cute. I was like, oh, I love this. So far, I've loved both of these. And not only do I like her colorways, but really digging the sock, the yarn too. I mean, this is 100% superwash. There's no light nylon in it, but anyway, so I was tempted to cast this or pick this up and bring this with me to the cabin as my second sock, but I wanted to venture out and to try out Hedgehog because I just knitted up her other socks. So love, love, love. And then Hedgehog fibers. So this is the April. Oh, what I was saying about the Sunrise Fiber Co. is I decided I had another gift certificate for my birthday for Etsy that I just went ahead and signed up for her June, July, August sock club because I'm digging. And I was like, I don't want May to be the last time I get a sock. Get her surprise sock or whatever it is. Yarn. I'd just be so sad if that was the last. So, anyways. Sorry about that. A little emotional thing I did there. Hedgehog Fibers Sock Club. Now, I gotta tell you, I know that Hedgehog fibers is super unpopular, and I know that. Stephen West is like a huge fan, and like tons of his stuff is done with that. And it was really hard to find. It's hard to find. None of the stores near me carry it. And then once I was able to get my foot in the door and get some sock yarn from them in their club, I love getting two different skeins every month. It's not just one, because one's cool, but then like two, it's like, whoa. And they're totally different skeins. So if you haven't gotten your April skeins, look away. So the first one is this super fluorescent, bright, very Stephen West style one. And the colorway is Popsicle. And this is their sock base. Very interesting. Like, see that? This part here, I'm like, what kind of popsicle tastes like that? Where I can see the pink and the reds and there's this weird purple thing going in there. It's really cool. These reds are really vivid too. Like, see, yeah, look at that. So that's Popsicle. And then this one's totally different than any of the ones that I've gotten from them before, and I really like this one. And this one's called Flying Carpet. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't think I have any yarn that is in this kind of motif and this color family. Like even that spot of green there. Yeah. So I'm going to be going to the Middle East. Going to Israel, Palestine, which is in the Mediterranean. I don't think it's fully Middle East, but it is the Middle East. And this would be my third trip there. And this time I'm going with like a group of, like, it's a team leadership experience, team building thing, which is excellent. Blessed to go. So I have to start thinking, like, what do I want to bring with me to knit on the plane? Whatever I bring, it needs to be a no-brainer, because one of the main goals for me on this trip is to spend time with the people I'm going with and having meaningful conversations. And I don't want to be distracted needing something and be like, can you hold on a second? I'm trying to fix a drop stitch, or you know what I mean? Like, hold on. I have one more row of this really complex pattern. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to knit and talk at the same time. So part of me thinks socks and some sort of easy garter stitch shawl or something like that. So I don't know. I was thinking Flying Carpet might be really cool to bring. It's very bright and summery. So possibly. And then I have to start thinking, what needles can I bring? What's appropriate to bring on the plane and what's not. This is the first time that I've traveled outside of the country knitting. I've knitted when I flew into Chicago, when I flew a few other places, but going outside the country with knitting utensils, I guess you would call it, first time. So if any of you guys have flown from US to Israel, Palestine, which would be flying into Tel Aviv, and have any pointers, I'd love to hear that. I obviously won't put my good needles with me on the plane. I'll have those in my checked baggage, but they check your baggage. Like, Israel is known to have very tight security. There were plenty of times when when I go there, they would, a lot of the locals will go, you Arabi? You Arabic. I do look Latin / like, I go certain places, they think that I'm Latino or Latina, sorry. And if I go to certain places, they think I'm Middle Eastern. I'm a Hawaiian Irish hybrid, and then when I go, it's so funny. Last time I was in Palestine, they go like, are you Arabic? And I go, no, I'm Hawaiian. And they go, American? Mexican? And I'm like, no, it's like they don't know what Hawaiian is, because they don't need to go to Hawaii. They have the Mediterranean, So I just thought it was funny. So I love those people there, by the way. That is one of I can consider that area kind of home. There's just, people are so welcoming. Hospitality is amazing. And I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be a total blessing. So, then the last fiber related thing I have is my first installment, the April installment of the Sweet Georgia Yarn Fiber Club. And so that comes with this cute little card, and it talks about the fiber, which is BFL and silk. 74% blue-faced Leicester, and which is the first type of fiber that I learned to spin on, and 25% 25% Tesson silk, and the colorway is Eden. And this is it. It's very pretty. It's so up my alley. For those of you that know, it's got purples. Smells a little interesting, but it's probably part of the dyeing process. Super cute. So that's enough. That's all my fiber. One thing I did get in preparation for my trip to Israel and Palestine was a travel journal, and I saw this on Susan B. Anderson. Now, granted, I didn't go with the same brand that she had. It was a little pricey, and I decided to try a knockoff, which uses the same refills that the brand she does and stuff. So I actually was a kit. So this is the larger size. Came with this smaller little pocket size, and then like this little leather thing that holds your pen to keep nice pens, especially if you're going to be drawing and sketching, to protect it. And so this little pocket one, which I just thought was so cute, it comes with charms, and you can replace the charm. But the charm has the same charm on each one. But so look, it's a little kitty with a crown on its head, which I thought was kind of cool. So you just kind of, it's leather, and then inside there are blank. You have your blank page section. This is hard to do backwards, just so you know. Then you have this pocket here, so you can zip things in it. Then you have a section that has a calendar, if you need it, which is not really my forte. That's what I have an iPhone for. Places you could put business cards or little things. And then this one here has lined paper for notes. And then, you know, the big one has the same thing, except for the big one just feels more worn in. It's pretty more flexible, I think, just because this is so small. It's pretty flexible, actually. But this one just feels really comfortable in your hands. And then, I mean, it's pretty much identical, except for everything is larger. So I'm looking forward to bringing this with me. This is what I'm going to take notes in. I like the ideas of this really, and the paper is really nice. You can't tell by looking at it, but it has a really nice texture on it. So I think it'll absorb ink really well. And the kind of goal is to just, if I see something that inspires me creativity-wise, sketch it out. Like if I see mosaic, which I'm going to see. I'm going to see tons of mosaic tiles and things like that, archways and designs, and so that might inspire me quilting-wise. But even then, just to kind of just journal thoughts and feelings about my trip. And I'll have a backup stitch marker if I need it. It's actually not, it's just progress keeper. So, yeah, I'm excited. That's what I got. And that's all I have today. The sun is really starting to beam. Yesterday it poured, like came out of nowhere. Like I guess it didn't come out of nowhere. I saw the weather report and said it was gonna probably just sprinkle. It looked kind of, and then all of a sudden I was like, what is that noise? And it was like downpouring quite a few times. So we got quite a bit of rain yesterday, which is nice. But then it's gonna be sunny today, and partly sunny and cloudy tomorrow. We'll have a barbecue and it'll be nice, and looking forward to seeing our family. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for putting up with the choppiness of this podcast and still loving me without my makeup. Not that nobody cares. It's just one of those things where I usually have a hard time going outside of the house with no makeup on. But yet I just podcasted myself to the public with no makeup on. So I will not be around next weekend, but I will be sure to podcast the following weekend. And I hope you guys have lots of time working on the things that you love and get to spend some time with family and friends. And I'll talk to you later. All right, take care. Bye.